to The Journey. This is another episode of Journeys from St. Joseph, folks, and today we're talking to Valerie White, and so we thank you, Valerie, for coming and being with us.
You're welcome.
So we're just chatting here about your journey. You know, journeys are up and down and all around, and so I always like to start with, what were your impressions of God when you were a kid? Did you have any particular sense?
Well, I started praying my mom used to get headaches a lot. And I used to pray that my mom's headaches would go away.
Oh.
And of course, as a child, they always did, even though she may have taken medicine or whatever. And so I thought, well, this God is pretty cool. He can take my mom's headaches away. So
do you remember how old you were?
I was in elementary school.
Okay.
Yep, I was in elementary school.
Wow.
So that's my earliest.
God was a healer.
Yeah.
I mean, but he answered prayers.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
really what you got out of that, I guess.
For sure.
How did it seem to go from there? I mean, as you got a little older, did that change very much?
It did. You know, when I got into high school, I did a lot of, retreats and religious retreats and that kind of thing. And I've always felt throughout my life that God is right next to me. I feel that way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's here with us right now.
Wonderful, and he certainly is. Wow. That's a gift. That's a wonderful gift, that presence.
It is, and it's very comforting.
Yeah, I would think
Very,
so.
very comforting.
So I'm taking this, you were raised Catholic, is that right?
I'm cradle Catholic, yep.
Okay. And your family went to church, they were going too,
Yep.
they brought you all?
Yep, we actually moved from Baltimore in 1969. We started attending this parish.
No kidding.
Yeah, 1969. So, and I just remember, the old church, and Tom and I were married in the old church, and I remember going to Stations of the Cross on Friday nights when I would rather be at high school dances.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, when we get to high school and teenage years, things change a little.
My mom basically said, "You're going," and she took my brothers and and I remember Father Snyder, on cold Friday nights. There were probably a handful, maybe a dozen people there, and we were one of them.
Wow. Oh my, that's
like, okay, when is this going to be over so I can go to the dance?
So did you ever get to go to the dance?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd get there late. That's just,
Okay.
It was a non-discussion. You will go. That's it.
You'll go there first, and then you.
Yep. That's it. So, and then college. I'd say in my freshman year, I really didn't want to have much to do with God. Didn't want to go to church. I just had a break there. Mm-hmm. And then a little bit later, I got involved in United Campus Ministry, and
that was still during college.
Yeah, that was probably when I was end of my freshman year into my sophomore year.
So what caused you to switch and
well, I had
and look at God again?
I had a roommate, and it's a long story, but we ended up being roommates in my freshman year, and she went to United Campus Ministry, and she was Catholic. She was a year older than me, and I looked at her faith, and I said, okay, yeah, I need to get back there. And the other thing I missed about college was that there was we would go to church maybe at 8:30 at night on a Sunday night. I missed going to the physical church. We would meet in the priest's residence, and that's where we would have church.
Okay.
And I realized how much the physical church, the beauty of it, meant to me, and I was really missing that. So there were times, Mary and I would walk to town, Frostburg, and we would go to the church, the Catholic church there. But it was difficult because it snows a lot, October to May, there's pretty much snow on the ground.
Yeah.
So, we had to, we had to do, make our choices, but it was good.
So, what was it about your roommate's faith that you saw? You said, I saw her faith. So she must have been behaving in some ways that really influenced you.
Praying, I mean, she would pray, like before she went to bed, or, she'd pray before meals. And just talking with her about her relationship with God, and, she just really drew me in. And it was neat. It was really cool.
So that maybe made you miss what you got a glimpse of when you were younger.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So then, after college, how did you and God do?
So, after college, got married, and we were actually going to Tom's parish in Garrett Park, and became a Eucharistic minister, which I absolutely love. I was asked to be a Eucharistic minister, and I didn't feel worthy. I thought, oh, why me? I can't hold God in my hands. I mean, it's just, But anyway, I did, and still to this day, it's an honor and a privilege. Every time I'm up there, and I'm giving God to people. It's just amazing.
It's wonderful for me to hear you say that, and I've heard that before, but coming from a Protestant background, it's a precious, precious thing that we as Catholics get to enjoy.
Yeah.
Holding God in your hand and receiving God, and I mean that kind of language is really powerful.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing.
So you're doing Eucharistic ministry, and are you involved in some other things as well?
I do. We do adoration once a week, and that I've been doing that for 15 years or something like that, and that's my happy place.
Yeah, I wanted to hear more about that. Can you tell me? What's it like for you? And I know this is also sort of private in a way too, but
it's just a wonderful time to be in the presence of God. It's just I can't explain it. It's calm. It's peaceful. It's rejuvenates you. There's joy. And you don't have to do necessarily anything. I mean, I usually say a rosary, but I also try to allow quiet time so that I can hear what God has to say to me. And I've worked out a lot of issues in adoration. He's talked to me about a lot of different things, and it's just a very calming, holy time.
Well, yeah, that's so appealing, and it's a wonderful experience. Yet a lot of people don't understand it and don't know how they might do it, right? And like you say, you're not really doing anything. Was there any adjustment that you had to make when you first started? I don't know if you can think about yourself as a new person in adoration, but was there anything?
I did do some research, just to see, how do people spend this holy hour?
Okay.
Maybe I would like to do this, or maybe that, or so I did some research, and I just kind of found what works for me. And like I said, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit in the presence of God. That's all it's about. So it's pretty cool.
Well, it's helpful, and I think a lot of people probably have never tried it, and would be something that we invite our listeners to do. I mean, that was a big...
And once you try it, you'll never go back. Just make that commitment, make that hour, and it's just, when you don't go, you really miss it.
Well, in today's world, I would think that kind of peace is something that's so rare. And that people would flock to it, and so maybe your experience is going to help some people.
It's really a gift that we have this at our parish. It really is a gift. So hopefully more people will do that.
Well, going back to your earlier years, I'm just wondering. Well, as a kid, how did your experience differ from what you were able to provide to your kids? A lot of times our upbringings are so different,
Mm-hmm.
but we want what we had for our kids, and I think that too. Were
So
there some big changes?
One of the special things that I really enjoyed growing up was doing the Advent wreath. We read out of the Bible, we all took turns. Every night we would light the candles and we would put the candle in the middle of the table and we would eat. And that's one of the things that we continued with our children. Mm-hmm. And of course the sacraments, praying before meals. So, a lot of the same things. We didn't go to, I have to say, confess that we really didn't go to Stations of the Cross very much.
Yeah. Well, but, I don't know if
I don't know if that was a good thing or not, but I'm just,
Sure. Well, the culture has changed so much, and I guess that's part of my question, is that, how much have you felt that the culture now challenges our faith, and what can we do about that?
It's very challenging.
And what's your recommendation to people?
Well, I'm sad to say that neither one of our boys are, really practicing, unfortunately, mm-hmm. and that's, I feel very sad about that. Mm-hmm. And I continue to pray for them every day that, they will find the joy of the Lord and have their own relationship with God. I don't know, having to do it over again, I don't know really. I feel like we did all the right things, but maybe there were things that we didn't do, and they're adults now, so they can build their own relationship, and, mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, we always ask those questions, is it something I did, is it something to, but again, right. I say our worlds are so different that the kinds of distractions that are out there can be really tough. Yeah. But we can continue to do things like this, mm-hmm. To share the joys and mm-hmm. share the goodness, and I think that says a lot and does a lot.
Yeah.
Why do you think you were interested in doing this journey interview today? Any particular?
Because I was asked for the mission council.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
But what do you hope people get from hearing your story, anybody's story?
I hope they the adoration piece is very important. I believe that more people should go to adoration. I think it's really a life-changing practice. Mm-hmm. And also, Eucharistic minister. There is one thing that I'd kind of like to share.
Yeah.
So, I believe all babies are miracles. But 4 months before Tom and I got married, basically I was told by the doctor that I was sterile, that we would never have kids. Wow. So that was heartbreaking. It was I was just shattered. So anyway, I had endometriosis very, very bad, and they said you're basically sterile. It's you're not going to be able to conceive without help. Mm. So talk to Tom. You still want to get married? That kind of thing. And he did, and he said, we'll figure it out. So 2 years into our marriage, we decided, we want to start a family, and we were going to a friend of Tom's family, her jubilee. She was a nun, and we were going to Pennsylvania, and we stopped by the Mother Seton Shrine in Emmitsburg. And in a side altar, there was a kneeler and a relic, and there was a sign, and it said, put this to a part of your body that you want to be healed. So I held it to my womb, and I prayed that I would get pregnant. And a month later, first time, wow, we conceived.
Wow.
And we didn't really, and so we went to the Jubilee, had Tommy, and he was born on February 11th, which is the Mother Seton Shrine is dedicated to the Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes, which that is the feast day. It's also my birthday and my dad's birthday.
Oh my goodness.
So we went up
This
a
is
year
incredible.
later, and we talked to the nuns, and of course they had this little baby, and they were all excited about Tommy. And I said, you know, where's the relic? And they said, well, what relic? And I said, the relic that was in the side altar. And I told them what happened. And they started blessing themselves and bowing. They said, we've never had a relic out.
Oh my goodness. But you saw something?
It's a cross. It was about this big. It was a cross, and right in the middle there was a relic. And there was that sign there.
That's a miracle.
Yeah. So, you know, what can I say? It's
It's a
miracle.
wonderful, wonderful story,
Yes.
and the reality of miracles right in your life.
absolutely. Miracles every day.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's very special.
I would
Very
think
special
so.
story.
Now, how much does Tommy know? Does he know the
Oh,
whole story?
he knows the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the whole story.
Wow.
So,
Well, God has given you such a gift, and now you've given it to our listeners, and so we're very grateful
Yeah.
for your time, for your stories, and grateful for Tommy, for your
yes.
gift of being parents. Wonderful to share with that.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that's our journey for today. Very special journey that we heard today, and we look forward to the next one.